Hello, and welcome to episode 8 of Apex to Oval. I'm your host, Alex. Next to me is Jack, and this is your weekly motorsports news recap. Um, I finally got it right. It's been 8 episodes, finally got it right. Very excited. Um, let's start with the first NASCAR news story. Um, Progressive possibly in talks with team deal. Report has reassured it's in talks to sponsor a team. It is unclear what team it will be, but they previously sponsored RF Racing's number 6, driven by Ryan Kelly 2020. Jack, what are your thoughts on that?
It's driven by Ryan Newman, right?
Or yeah, I don't. Yes, Ryan Newman. Yeah, I am big dumb Newman. Yes.
Um, I think that JGR would be. It's like JGR is like the presumed front runner here, right?
Yes, Joe Gibbs is the presumed front runner.
Which it always baffles me that like Denny and a lot of the JGR drivers seem to have like sponsorship troubles sometimes. Like
Yeah.
Truex always had like Bass Pro Shops, but like all the other sponsors scaled back. They had to drop Kyle Busch because of sponsorship. And it's like they have
Mhm.
some of the best cars, some of the best drivers in the sport. Or like I get that part of being one of the best teams is they ask for more money from their sponsors, but it's crazy to me that guys like backmarkers will have full schedule sponsors and then JGR will have to like cut some of the best drivers in the sport because like for money reasons.
Yeah. Um, I think
Um,
it'll be
but
fun.
it would be
I
good
think
to fill.
Yeah, I think they were saying that Denny would be the front runner for JGR because FedEx left and that left a very big hole in his sponsorship.
Yeah,
Um,
and FedEx had been scaling back a lot, but
yeah,
Denny's had some trouble the last few years, like filling that void where it was FedEx every race, and then it keeps scaling back, and now they're gone like fully.
yeah, which Denny is like a top driver. You know, to get sponsors, but um, on to our next article. So the second NASCAR article of last week. According to Canadian sources, NASCAR might be going back to Canada in 2026. The deal would reportedly have trucks in Xfinity race in 2026 at the Gilles and the series following this in 2027 if the event goes well in 2026. Jack, what are your thoughts?
Um, yeah, they've raced there before, but it seems like this combined with Mexico, there is now a renewed focus on trying to push international, which is probably a good sign for how they view the growth of the sport, like internally, right? You see the new broadcasting partners coming in, you see some new sponsors coming in, even, while other longtime sponsors leave. But clearly, if they're making these pushes to grow the audience, they feel good enough about the state of the sport.
Didn't they race in Japan once? I think, right? Is that
I'm pretty sure, I don't remember the specifics, but it sounds like right to me.
bring back Japan race NASCAR? Okay. On to our third and final NASCAR article of the week. That was prominent recent NASCAR Hall of Famer Carl Edwards to round out Prime Video's announcing team. Edwards will join Prime Video's NASCAR's pre and post race show for 5 races this season. Jack, he's not coming back for racing, but he is going to be an announcer. What are your thoughts?
Um, I mean, I don't know. I haven't seen him on a broadcast really.
Mhm.
Like, at least in a way that has stood out. So, like, I don't really have many opinions. I feel like there are some drivers, I think Clint Boyer's a great example of this, where, like, they're kind of disappointing in the booth, and then there are some that are great. I get the sense he'd be pretty good, but we'll have to wait and see.
I know I'm very excited. Um, on to F1. The F1 movie trailer has been released. It was released like, fully, but there was like some little tidbits that were released earlier than that. My from this is the F1 movie has been under fire for having a male racer, Sonny, whatever his name is, played by Brad Pitt, and a female engineer sexual dynamic. In one of their trailers, they had the sexual dynamic between the main guy and a female engineer. Women online have said it's a bad image for women in sports and that it is a bad look for the movie because it portrays that women only get their spots because of sexual things, which also going back to like a couple months ago and what happened with Fox and the things that were leaked at Fox, Fox Sports specifically. Um, yeah, not a very good look. Jack knows what I'm talking about, right?
I mean, Fox network wide is like, yeah. I don't
Yeah.
know anything specific to Fox Sports, but
It was the woman who was what I'm talking about. It was the Skip Bayless like yeah,
yeah. Because
that
I know
was that
Fox
was leaked
network
in.
wide is has had some infamous like things come out, but
Yes, but it's just a bad look. Jack, thought on that? You gonna see the movie?
um, I mean, it's an Apple TV movie, right?
Yes.
So like, I'm probably gonna watch it at some point at least. It's not the kind of thing where I don't think I'm gonna go out of my way to go see it, but
Mhm.
yeah, in a way, I feel like, of course, a movie is gonna have something like that in it, and at the same time, it didn't have to be someone directly involved in the sport, right?
Mhm.
I don't think that I don't necessarily think that it portrays that um how do I want to phrase this? I don't think it necessarily portrays that like she only got her spot because of that, but I do
Mhm.
think that it's still a bad look of like that's the it's almost what's the name for it? Like the Bechdel test. Do you know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
Where like if a female character exists on her own right or just in the context of a male character,
Mhm.
where like it would be nicer to just see the representation as an engineer without having that context attached. But I don't necessarily think it goes far enough to imply that she only got a position in F1 because of that.
Yeah. I
You know
think
what I mean?
also I think one of the main issues also with that was the movie that scene was put out like not too long after the first female engineer entered F1 with Esteban Ocon. And it's
Yeah.
like, really? Like, we've just got the first female engineer, and you go ahead and you do like what? Like that's
Yeah.
not it.
Exactly. I feel like it would be nicer just to have that representation without
Without the
any kind of
sexualizing,
extra attention paid to it and without any
without
non
the
F1
affair.
context applied to it.
Yeah. On to the next one, the second out of three. F1 CEO and President Stefano Domenicali to continue with role till 2029. Stefano Domenicali re-signed on a 5-year deal with Liberty Media to continue being the F1 CEO and president till 2029. Um, just a fun little thing. I don't got too many thoughts on that. He's all right. Yeah.
Yeah, my issues with F1 are really issues with the FIA. I think
Yep.
that F1 as a sport, I don't have too many complaints about. He seems like fine. So,
Yep. And on top of that, I didn't have this in here, but the I believe South Africa did submit a bid to bring back Formula One to South Africa. Obviously, Lewis has been a big um, person saying that he like in Africa GP, and Stefano Domenicali has also said that he wants F1 in every continent that has a racetrack. Obviously, because there's you can't race in Antarctica, but every continent that has a racetrack, he would like a
yet.
race in. Yeah, yeah, yeah. But yeah, that's some big news as well. And our third and final article is Jonathan Wheatley to become Kick Sauber's official team principal on April 1st. Formerly served as Red Bull Racing's sporting director from 2018 to 2024, and has made the move to Kick Sauber starting April 1st.
Yeah, I mean, like this is part of Sauber's and then soon to be um they seem solely focused on 2026. Them along with Aston Martin with Newey, right? Both
Mhm.
those teams are really going all in, and here it's because of obviously new manufacturer coming in to kind of take over Sauber.
Yeah. I think it's a good thing. I think it'll maybe get Sauber on track a little bit, to get a better car.
Yeah,
I will say they did
I
finish
wouldn't expect any. Oh,
seven
sorry.
piece
Yeah, that
last race.
was because of the rain. They didn't qualify
Yeah, well,
that well, I
yes, they
don't
didn't
think.
qualify well,
But
but they didn't qualify. I think they both made it to Q2, and one of them made it to Q3 or something like that. Something along those lines. Like, they didn't qualify. Like Haas qualified awful. So,
oh,
um,
obviously, yeah.
ho-
But
yeah, hopefully, just step up with that.
but I just wouldn't expect this move to pay any returns until like next year. But I think that
Yes,
it's
of course.
encouraging seeing him here and seeing Newey at Aston Martin for like seeing parity next year. Like I think that that's going to be really encouraging.
On to our three IndyCar articles. This one doesn't really have anything that like to say, I guess. Um, and good job, Meyer Shank Racing. But Meyer Shank Racing is hosting 500 veterans, first responders at the Thermal Club race. Um, I thought, it was a big article. I got a couple article notifications from it, but I think that's a cool thing to have. Obviously, I think it's a good thing. So, Jack, do you have any thoughts? Anything?
Nothing really. I mean,
Nothing.
cool. I don't know.
All right. On to the next one. The Grand Prix of Austin is going to be taking place in 2026. The race will take place between March 13th and 15th, with practice on Friday, March 13th, qualifying on Saturday, March 14th, and the race on Sunday, March 15th. Thoughts?
Um, I would be so. This objectively seems like a good thing. It seems like it's going to be cool. It's great that so many people are coming together to put so much into it.
Mhm.
However, the fact that one of those groups is the Dallas Cowboys means that on principle, I am against it. Um,
That also means, on principle, I'm also against it. The Cowboys.
but like
Or
it
Cowgirls,
incorporates
sorry.
Jerry World. It incorporates Jerry World like AT&T Stadium. I think it goes past all the fields around there, right?
Does it really?
Um,
Oh, God.
like well, because it's just going around like it's in the sports area.
Yeah.
Um,
God,
and
I hate
so
Jerry World.
you'll get to see plenty of it next year during this race.
Oh, I don't want to
But
see
no, I
anything from Jerry World.
objectively this is a good thing. Like yes, there's already racing in Texas in some form, but this is clearly going to be like a big event. And so it's nice to see
Yeah.
that investment coming.
Yeah. Um, On to the third final IndyCar article. Chevrolet's IndyCar boss Rob Buckner to move on from position May 4th after the race at Barber Motorsports Park. Buckner and his wife are expecting a child, congratulations, in late May, and Buckner wants to take time to be a father. When he comes back, he will assume a new title of senior manager of GM Motorsports propulsion program team, where he will oversee majority of GM Racing's engine programs.
I mean, I'm not going to lie. Like, I don't know. I don't want to say I don't know what he does, but I don't get the sense that this is anything but a great thing for this guy.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
I'm just saying it because his wife is pregnant, kid, and he is going to IndyCar and Formula One and their engine programs. So it's
Yeah,
kind
I
of
mean,
two for
it
one.
seems like it seems like it's almost a promotion. I don't know if it
Yes,
technically is,
I believe
just
it's a
because it's
promotion
kind
because
of
he's yeah, I think he's overseeing everything, so it should be promotion for him, is what I was getting from it.
yeah. But congratulations to him. It seems like they've had because of opening the F1 team and stuff. It seems like they've been consistently bumping people up. Um,
Hmm.
so it seems like I think they've already got a successor, right? So
Yep. Um, Now on to yesterday's racing. Um, the last weekend's racing, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. Um, we got three out of predictions correct. One, Jack got two. Um, let's start with the Truck Series on Friday. Um, Ty Majeski was Jack's pick. Corey Heim was my pick. The winner was Corey Heim, and following him was Grant Enfinger in P2, Tanner Gray P3, Ty Majeski P4, so not far off Jack, Lane Riggs in P5, Stuart Friesen in P6, Raja Caruth in P7, Chandler Smith in P8, Matt Grafton in P9, and Tyler Ankrum in P10. Your most places gained was Chandler Smith with 16, going from 24th to 8th, and Tanner Gray going from 19th to 3rd. The most places was 22, and with Corey Day going from 5th to 27th, and your DNFs were Stephen McClawsey and Jack Wood. What were your thoughts on the race? I did not watch this race playing. Did you watch it? What do you think? Thoughts?
Corey Heim is good in a truck. Breaking news. But more seriously, Tanner Gray had a really great run, like kind of better than his usual. It feels like
Mm-hmm.
that was something that stood out here. And Lane Riggs had a good showing. This was a race that this one finished late, right? Because this was the race in the weekend that got delayed forever.
Yeah, because of the rain, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we got a lot of TV time of truck drivers that you wouldn't otherwise get to see. If I remember right, Lane Riggs was like right at the end where he basically just all excited, like kind of said hi to the camera and then had to go get in his truck. Um, that was pretty much it. But it's, the trucks are nice, especially when you get not new names. There really are no new names in here, but a guy like Tanner Gray or Lane Riggs having a great run is good to see. But obviously, Corey Heim is hard to stop.
Roy Heim should be Xfinity, but he's not. On to the Xfinity
Yeah.
predictions. Jack had Justin Algier. How do you say that?
Allgaier.
Algier.
Allgaier.
Connor and I had Connor Zilic. Your winner was Connor Algier. Okay. Oh my Jesus, dude. Jesus. The winner was Justin. Following him was Eric
Okay.
Almirola in P2, Jesse Love P3, Austin Hill P4, Sam Mayer P5, Brandon Jones P6, Kyle Sieg P7, Harrison Burton P8, Connor P9, and Sheldon Creed P10. Your most places gained was Ryan Sieg with 13 from P20 to P7, Sheldon Creed and Dean Thompson, who went from
Wait,
28th to
which
15th.
which Sieg?
Ryan. Oh my God. Wait, hold up. I might have fudged it.
Because they both exist.
Yes, I know they both
But I
exist.
believe
Hold up.
Ryan Sieg finished P7. Kyle Sieg finished 11.
Hold up. I'm going back. Did I screw it up? I said it right the first time. Yeah, I did it wrong the first time. God damn it. All right. Sorry. Ryan Sieg went from. I put Ryan Sieg. I did. All right, whatever. Who cares? Ryan Sieg went from P20 to P7. And Dean Thompson went from 28 to P15. Your most places lost was 15 with Carson Capel. I don't know how to,
Quapple.
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 That's not how you say it. There's no W. Quapple. Who went from
Quapple.
P2 to P17, and Taylor Gray, who went from P4 to P19. And your DNFs were William Sawalich, Mason Macy, and Austin Green. I also didn't watch this race. I was out at dinner with family. Jack.
So for one, part of the reason I asked was because I was second guessing myself because I knew both Sieg, I think they're brothers, both Sieg brothers raced really well. I mean, Kyle Sieg finished P11,
Yep.
which Ryan Sieg has some good finishes here and there, but it feels like generally you don't see that from Kyle as much. So that was good to see. This was most of the day. It was a two-man race between Allgaier and Almirola. Although Connor Zilic had a moment there where he was having a great run. Like,
Didn't he
thought
get a
he could.
penalty?
I think so.
Okay.
Something happened like that. Um, I don't remember the specifics, unfortunately. I should go back and check, um, but there was a moment not at the end, but getting towards the end where you thought he might be able to challenge them, but otherwise nobody was touching that top two. I mean, Allgaier like from the start was running away with it. Now Almirola was the only one who it felt like could stay within like 5-10 seconds of him. Um, yeah,
Just
it was a good day for the
fast.
Fords. Also, I don't know if it necessarily was reflected in the finishing results, like in the finishing order, but I mean, you have Sam Mayer, you have Ryan Sieg, you have Harrison Burton, you have Sheldon Creed. I believe they're all Fords. Um, yeah.
All right. And on to the Cup predictions. Jack had Tyler Reddick. I had Christopher Bell, and the Jinx did it again. Your winner, out of nowhere, was Josh Berry for his first ever win. Um, Suarez at P2, Priest at P3, my Connecticut King, William Byron at P4, Ross Chastain P5, Austin Cindric P6, Alex Bowman P7, AJ Allmendinger P8, Kyle Larson P9, and Chase Elliott rounds out the top 10. Your most places gained was Daniel Suarez, who went from 23rd to 2nd. Your most places lost was Kyle Busch with 29, who went from 4th to 33rd. Your DNFs were Cody Ware, Ryan Blaney, Shane Van Gisbergen, and Noah Gragson. I did watch this, and I thought it was a good race. Um, I don't know how Josh Berry won that. No clue. I mean, he just was fast. Like I,
That Wood
uh,
brother that Wood Brothers car has been fast. Like, and he
I
qualified
know.
well at the start of
I
this race. They've
know.
always been, well, not always, but like for a while they've been a Penske like allied team.
Yes, I think that's when
And
they
they'd
were.
have races where they show up fast. It's just
Mhm.
DiBenedetto never got a win. Burton was really disappointing in that car. And
Except for
Barry
that one
so
time.
far kind of just looks like he's driving another Penske.
Yeah, Berry's unbelievable. Um, and Ryan Preece P3 is after last week's showing of the on the option tire. Amazing, absolute cinema. Um, but yeah, Kyle Busch was having a rough day that entire time. That wasn't very fun for him. And Ryan Blaney was also having a really bad day too. I just, yeah, thoughts.
Um, that Yeah, I mean, you covered the surprising 1, 2, 3. The only other thing is that this was a well-needed good day for Trackhouse. Um, with Suarez and Chastain up there, and SVG DNF'd obviously, but clearly the car was good.
Yep.
Suarez needed that result. Trackhouse, the team needed that result, so that was good to see. But
Daniel
really, the
Suarez
story
holding
here
onto
is
his seat
Barry.
like 2024 Sergio Perez. Dude, imagine both. Suarez is Mexican, right?
Yeah,
Imagine both Mexican drivers are gone. Like last year to this year, Perez. This year to next year, it's just um Suarez for Zilich, my goat. That'd be really sad. I like Daniel Suarez, so I think he should keep. I think Trackhouse should add a fourth car, for Zilich.
the problem is I don't think you can get a fourth charter. Um, get maxed out at 3. So
But but the 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 other okay,
yeah, JGR and Hendrick are grandfathered in.
that's stupid. Get rid of SVG. Bring in Connor Zilich.
That's a hot take.
Um, Formula One predictions. Jack had Landon Norris, and I had Lewis Hamilton. And one of them did not. Well, actually. No, I'll talk about that. Your winner was Lando Norris. Rounding out the podium was Max Verstappen in P2 and George Russell. Most places gained was 12 for Kimi Antonelli, who went from P16 to P4. And your most places lost was 7 with Oscar Piastri, who went from P2 to P9. And your DNFs were Carlos Sainz, Jack Doohan, Fernando, Isaac Hadjar, Liam Lawson, and Gabriel Bortoleto. Um, yeah, Hadjar, I feel so bad for Hadjar. He did so well in qualifying P11 and almost getting into Q3. And that DNS in the rain just really hurt my heart. He started crying. Like he was like standing there for a while and then he was like crying and then uh Anthony Hamilton, you are actually a king. Please, Yos, er, look at Anthony Hamilton and be like him because man, I just love Anthony Hamilton. But Doohan, Dud, Alonso, like nobody could drive in the wet, which was really funny. And then at the end, Ferrari messed up their strategy, which lost their drivers P2 and P3 all the way down to P9 and P10. Uh, but Lewis was struggling all race up until that, like, because everyone pitted for Inters after being on slicks, and Lewis and Charles stayed out. Then the safety car came out, and then they wrongfully pitted. I could have stayed out and kept P2 and P3, but it is what it is.
I would probably argue that they should have just switched tires when everyone else did. I don't think they would have survived on slicks, even
I
with the
mean,
safety car out. The
I
announcers kept saying
yeah,
they would, but like they weren't gonna.
I feel like they could have if they were careful enough, but they might have lost a place or two,
But
but they would have been better off probably with the slick because the
by
track dried up
virtue of
pretty
them
quick.
being careful enough, starting after a safety car, they would have lost all the track position by then,
Yeah.
and then some.
I mean, the track
Because
wasn't
it would have been
wet
like
apparently,
it was still pretty wet around
because
when they restarted.
what they said that because the announcers were saying that it dried a lot from it.
The
So
announcers, I think, were wrong. I
okay,
I don't get the sense like Ferrari loves to shoot themselves in the foot, but it
yeah,
seemed pretty clear based on how much it was raining, even if for such a short amount of time, that the time difference between being on inters and being on slicks, you couldn't make it up in the like 8 laps left or whatever.
uh, is what it is. Damn it. Um, yeah, I don't really know. Um.
I mean,
Carlos Sainz, you actually suck. No, I'm just kidding. Carlos Sainz, like, I don't know how you crashed during a safety car, but like he did. I don't know how. He's
hey,
still a great
it's
driver.
almost as bad as crashing during a formation lap.
You're a rookie and barely have any running experience.
Okay,
Six-year
that's
veteran.
not an
He's a
excuse. You
six-year
texted
veteran.
me
It
that.
is. It is.
It's
It is
not
an
an
excuse.
excuse.
Dog, they don't race in the rain in lower series. They just don't.
You
They have no
cannot
rain
start a
experience.
Formula One car and lean on any excuses, much less that as an excuse.
They
And it's
don't
the
race in the rain.
formation lap. Follow what people are doing in front of you. That's an
He didn't
excuse if
even
you
do
spin out
anything.
like that in
He didn't.
practice.
Bro, he was. His car just fucked.
No,
He
dude,
didn't.
you
He didn't even
that
throttle.
is not
He
an
didn't
excuse.
throttle
You
it up,
can't be an F1 driver,
bro.
crash on the formation lap, and say, "Oh, it's because I don't have rain experience." Like, I
Bro, he didn't
understand
even
that
do
they're
anything
hard to
wrong.
handle,
He didn't do
but you
anything wrong
gotta
either. He
keep a
didn't.
handle on it.
The car just fucked.
Saying okay, but saying he didn't do anything wrong and the car snapped out on him is the same thing you could say for everyone, including Suarez, that crashed. I mean, including Sainz. Sorry, I was thinking of
Suarez
Daniel
to
Suarez.
F1.
Yeah,
Suarez to Will confirmed by Jack right
but
now.
like you could say that about everyone that crashed out if you wanted
Oh
to,
no!
because
Because
it's wet.
Carlos
That's what the
just
car does.
Carlos didn't even like do it. Like Carlos just didn't turn. He just went into the wall.
Yeah, you wonder why he didn't turn? Because it was wet. The same reason that Hajar's car like snapped on him, because it was wet and he didn't know how to handle it. But that's not an
All I'm
excuse
saying,
for still
Isaac Hadjar
screwing
will
it up.
finish higher in the standings than Kimi Antonelli, and that's confirmed.
I firmly, actually, speaking of that, I do want to point out that Kimi had a really good race. He was one of
I
the only
personally,
drivers. He was one of the
I,
only drivers that actually made like passes on the track.
he got think he got super lucky and that he didn't really before, but I'm not going to talk about that because I'm going to get in trouble.
No,
So,
please do talk about that because you texted
no.
me that, and I have never been more confused than by seeing that take.
I
Is that
think he
just
got super
confirmation
lucky.
bias?
I think he got lucky with the pit stops, with the rain, with everything. I think he just got super lucky. I don't think he was that everyone was saying online. I think he was mid and that he just got really lucky with everything.
Is that some
We'll
kind of
see. We'll,
confirmation
we'll see.
bias?
Well, no, we're gonna see in the next couple of races. If he does well in the next couple of races, then I will take back what I said about the luck. But up to this point, it's like
Because
luck.
if anything, I would argue he got pretty unlucky this weekend. I mean, his car braking in qualifying relegated him to starting P16.
I don't. He wouldn't have finished. Yeah, he still would have finished P4. There was nothing like if he even if he started higher, he would have a high risk of crashing because everyone else in front of him was crashing. He was so far back
I
at the
don't
start
agree
that
that he would
everyone
have a
behind him
higher
was.
risk of crashing. It's not like there were any chain reaction incidents here, but he still would have been able to more closely compete with like Russell instead of
I think
finishing
he
a
would.
decent like distance behind him.
I
Because
think he's.
he was better in traffic than like yes, he was passing cars that were worse than that Mercedes, but he was doing what Lewis could not do, which was pass cars that were in worse equipment on a slickish track. Kimi was the only driver driving aggressively and actually making overtakes in this race. And he kept
I
it
think
clean, which basically no other rookie could do, except for Ollie Behrman, who finished way in the back and
Ollie
had his
Behrman
own
was
few
like
like
3 laps behind at
confusing
one
incidents.
point. Just saying. Just Ollie was like 3 laps behind at one point, like 4 laps behind. I'm just saying he was
But
1 lap behind at the end. He kept getting the pass through, which is hilarious. Which why is F1 doing pass throughs now? I don't know.
um,
Are
well,
they
that's the
just
thing to
trying?
get them.
Are they trying to like make people believe that they've always done pass throughs so Abu Dhabi doesn't look as bad? Like what are we doing? Because
No,
they've never
that's
done pass
it's
throughs
been a
before.
thing for yeah. I mean, it's become a thing to get people out of the way of like lapped traffic, but now it is explicitly a thing, right?
I think it's a thing. But I've even last year I didn't see any pass throughs. Like there were no pass throughs last year. At least that's what it seemed like. There was no
Um,
pass through. Like what I don't know why they're starting it this year.
but yeah, I just wanted to highlight Kimmy being like the only watchable driver as far as actually like doing anything on the track.
We're
Um,
gonna see next week how that works for
oh,
Kimmy.
I'm sure. I want to point out Oscar Piastri, who was running really well, got a
Oh yeah.
little. There's debate over whether it was team orders or whether it was just smart because they were going to come up on back markers at some point. But then tough luck just hitting a wet patch, spinning into the grass. He was able to recover, get back into the points, but that's still.
Yeah.
He was like
Dude,
one of the
the
only other drivers that could actually pass people. He had that great fight with, I think it was Lewis? Or was
Max.
it someone else? No. Piastri, like at the end there.
Oh, Lewis.
Yeah.
Lewis.
Um,
But yeah, Piastri was
and
running
then
really well.
Williams. Oh yeah,
Oh,
go
sorry,
for it.
continue. Yeah, Piastri was running really well, and then yeah, as Jack said, he hit the wet patch, and then it just they DM'd him on the broadcast, or at least on the F1 TV broadcast. They had him as a DNF, and then they're like, and they cut to him, and he's like going backwards, like he's reversing, and they're like, is he actually going to do this? Is he not going to give up? Why isn't he giving up? He should be giving up right now.
Oh,
He's in the grass,
the
and then he
Sky
got back
Sports
on the truck.
broadcast was saying nothing of the sort.
Like, oh, the F1
Well,
TV
because
has focused
he
on it, and
Piastri had no damage. The wheels just were like his wheels wouldn't spin,
yeah,
so
but
he had to turn it
I
into
think
reverse and back out.
I think the F1 TV broadcast thought he was stuck because he's in the grass. Like I think they
Yeah,
think it like grass is equal to gravel trap apparently. But then he got
immediately,
out.
immediately when he got in there and they saw the wheels spinning, the
Yeah.
broadcast was just going, just back up, just back up, just back up, like they were yelling at him to, and then he did.
Yeah. The F1 TV broadcast was like, "Oh, he's stuck, DNF'd." And it's like, "What?" And then he made it back into the points. Like Piastri's my driver of the day. I don't really he was like P14 at one point, P13, made it back into the points with 8 laps to go, like 8 laps to go, and the safety car was there. What a race by Piastri. I don't really care that Lando won. I don't care that who cares. That recovery is driver of the day material.
Um, I
Yeah.
Williams had a really good weekend. I mean, they're
Yes.
up
Other
there
than
like,
Carlos.
well, yeah, they're in the race, sure, but like I think they were both
Yeah.
ahead of Lewis in the Ferrari on pace. I think that Albon was ahead of Sainz a lot. Not Sainz. Oh my God, ahead of Leclerc.
No, Albon was ahead of Saints too. No,
I I was just
maybe
talking Ferrari. Um,
I
he
think it was
obviously finished
Charles.
ahead of the Ferraris, but
I think Charles finished P5, Albon was P6. Or no, no. Sainz I think was below everyone. Sainz was
well,
like
Sainz
P10.
DNF'd obviously,
No, for
but
quality. I think
oh
Sainz was below Lewis and Charles. I think it was Charles P5, Yuki P6, Albon P7, Lewis P8,
yeah,
and like Carlos or something like that. So Carlos was
I
behind,
was
but
talking at the start of the
Albon was
race,
impressive.
but
No,
um,
I don't think Carlos got ahead of Lewis at any point. I think
no.
maybe, but
Carlos crashed out like early,
yeah.
um,
But can I
but
just
they were
say
competing on time.
Charles? Yeah, Charles Leclerc though screwed Lewis over twice. It's so funny, dude. There were like two times Charles overtook Lewis during the race, but when he did, he like slowed the fuck down. So Lewis had to slow down, and then Lewis would get overtaken on the outside too. And it's like, dude, Charles, like, go. Why are you slowing down your teammate? If you're gonna make the overtake, make it correctly. Like, don't slow your teammate down so he gets past.
But yeah, for
But
qualifying specifically,
yeah,
Albon qualified ahead of both Ferraris, and Sainz
yes.
still made Q3.
Was it both for? Dang. Yeah,
Yeah,
the Williams are really well. Didn't Nick Sauber finish in above in Q, or were they on the break of Q2?
uh,
Because
no,
I know
neither of them made Q3. Bortoletto made Q2, and but
that's what it was.
like didn't
Bortoleto
run
made
anything.
Q2. Yeah, Bortoleto
Um,
made Q2.
and that was only because Kimmy's car was so broken. Like
Mm,
despite the fact that his
mm,
car was dragging around the track, it was like a hundredth of a second separating them.
yeah. Also, I just want to point out Mercedes car good as soon as Lewis left.
What?
Mercedes made their car super good as soon as Lewis left. That's all I'm saying. Their car was
I don't
good
know if
last year.
that's
Don't get
true.
me wrong. Their car was good last year, but I mean like George was never running that high in the beginning of the season. Like
I don't
during
know
the
if
middle
that's
of the
as
season, George was
true
running.
or if Ferrari got worse relative.
I don't. Well, okay, let's be honest. Ferrari, I think, just slashed everything and made everything new. So maybe Ferrari did get worse, but
Well, Ferrari
I
clearly got worse because Williams right now looks as faster.
yeah, but Williams is Carlos. Think of that.
What?
Williams
Uh,
is Carlos.
okay, okay.
Carlos
Um,
Carlos is like, dude, Carlos was taking engineering lessons so he could understand the car, so we could give better advice to the team. Like, let's be honest, Carlos is the reason why the cars is good. Not any of the engineers. It is Carlos Sainz. Because during the
okay.
freaking testing, no, listen to this. Postseason testing, they were ripping apart that Williams car, like completely taking it apart. Every single part was off the car at one point except for the engine so they could look at it and make it better. Like, dude, Carlos is the GOAT. Anyway,
But yeah, because McLaren's still like McLaren is the best car at least right now. Red Bull is good. Liam Lawson is just a disaster for the entire weekend. Um, and then after that, I mean, Mercedes looks better than Ferrari, but I don't know what to say otherwise.
yeah, hopefully for her to get their shit together, please.
But Lawson from
Anyway,
start to finish had a disaster
yeah.
weekend. I
Oh
mean,
yeah, Lawson was ass. Yeah,
it's already exactly kind of
like
what you expect
Perez,
from a Red Bull second driver. Like it's right back to the Albon saga. It feels like.
Albon, Gasly, Sainz, Perez, Ricardo. You can't
I
say it's
mean,
like Ricardo because Ricardo was successful in that car. So,
Perez was successful at first. I mean, it got
well,
worse toward the end, but Perez
yeah,
was the best. That's why, and I kept defending Perez to you because you started watching after all of that happened with the other
that
second
is true.
drivers.
That
And
is
that's
true.
why I kept defending Perez, where like he is head and shoulders better than any other second driver they've put in that car, it feels like.
Yeah, except for like the second half of three and all of 24. Yes.
Even then, that's still
Um.
better than like some of the Albon races.
Oh no, Albon was DNFing every other race. I'm pretty sure.
Yeah,
So like, yeah, that
it
makes
was
sense.
ugly. But yeah.
Anyway, let's get on to our predictions. So on Friday, it is the Truck Series Baptist Health 200 in Miami on March 21st at 5 p.m. Eastern Time. Predictions. I have Corey Heim. He should be in the Xfinity Series. I expect domination.
I probably would have picked time. Um, I should maybe go back to a pick of like Majeski or something, but I want to pick Raja. I want to see Raja win a race.
Dude, I was trying to get a Rasha hat. He has no cool hats. Like I was looking for like a nice
Damn.
just with the numbers on it, like nothing with just numbers on it. Like why? Like Rasha, if you see this, just make a hat with your number on it with the colors you want and I will buy it. Please. Um anyway, Saturday you have your Xfinity Series race at Homestead, Miami, obviously in Miami, March 22nd at 1 p.m. Eastern Time. My prediction, Jesse Love. Very good driver, very good. And I put the
Yeah,
glasses emoji, the sunglasses emoji, because he likes to wear sunglasses all the time.
nice. I got Sammy Smith here. The junior motorsports cars were very good last weekend at our first mile and a half race, and then we're at another mile and a half. Although race is a little different than Vegas. Um, but Zilich was really good. Allgaier obviously won the race in dominant fashion. Quapple ran pretty well. Sammy Smith ran pretty well. So I was just picking a non-Allgaier junior motorsports driver to win it. And the reason I picked Sammy Smith specifically was actually following up on the Roger Carruth Corey Heim discussion. I was looking at active drivers in the truck series because I was like, Corey Heim feels historically dominant, at least relative to the other truck drivers right now. And it turns out that Corey Heim, out of active drivers in the truck series, however it's qualified on Racing Reference, has the second best average finish at, I believe, 4.3. You want to guess, Alex, who is the first?
What is it? What is it?
What do you mean?
What is the question?
So I was looking at truck drivers on Racing Reference because
Yes.
Corey Heim felt very dominant.
Mm-hmm.
And Corey Heim, it turns out of active truck drivers, has the second best average finish at 4.3. You want to guess who is the best average finish?
Village.
No. He never raced a truck. No, I'm kidding. He has raced a truck. But
Bush.
no, it's Sammy Smith.
No.
This was a leading question. This was
No.
but in his like 19
Yeah.
races, I think he has like 6 wins in the trucks, an average finish of 3.8. I was looking at
That's
that,
gross.
and I was looking at how well Junior Motorsports was doing while I was making my truck picks, and I was like, it was kind of percolating in the back of my head, and so Sammy Smith it is this week. See if we can go 2 for 2 on real races at mile and a halves.
Oh God. Um, Next, Formula One on Saturday, March 23rd at 3 a.m. Eastern Time. Yes, you heard that right. After you have the 12 a.m. Eastern Time Australian Grand Prix, you have the 3 a.m. Eastern Time Chinese Grand Prix. Um, Prediction is Lando Norris. Lando Norris is
Yeah, I mean McLaren's fastest right now,
he's
at
gonna be
least.
their fastest, and he's gonna start a hot streak, and he's gonna win the world championship. Jack, what are your? Oh my God, I have said.
So
What are your pick?
this is a sprint weekend, right?
I believe so.
So for that reason, I have Max. I think that there are enough things to happen between qualifying and then sprint and then the race itself.
Hmm.
And both Lando and Piastri are very fast. I feel like something's going to happen to one of them. Just
Yep.
odds wise, with all those races that you're guaranteed to have at least 2 starts like from the grid, right? So I just feel like Max is going to be if it's anything like this past week was car like speed wise, Max is going to be perfectly positioned to pounce on whatever happens, right? I
Yep.
mean, he was kind of hunting down Lando at the end there, right?
Yes, he was.
So
His tires
clearly
were
that,
fresher though, so
but clearly that car can compete, right?
yeah,
Obviously, we're not going to be in a rain race either.
yeah.
But I feel like enough will go on with McLaren because as we saw with Ferrari, sometimes you can really shoot yourself in the foot when you have two cars competing at around the same spot, like strategy wise, and then screw them both over. Where Max having all of Red Bull behind him, clearly, there might just be chaos enough for him to sneak ahead.
I am interested in seeing how this Red Bull does while not in the rain, because historically they're very good in the rain, uh, no matter what. So I'm kind of in the dry if they're actually good or not, because if if it's like they're just good in the rain, who knows? But
I mean, they qualified quite well, and the other teams seem to think that Red Bull's tire management is much better than a lot of other teams, at least. Like, I know
that is true.
Mercedes was saying that Red Bull's tire management was much better than theirs. Um,
Yeah.
and I mean, I think Max, he qualified well in the dry,
Mhm.
kind of effortlessly, which obviously it's Max. He's obviously going to qualify well, but
Yes, he's going to qualify well and do well in the wet. I just want to see if it is dry in China. Let's see how he does there because I, here's the thing. The tire management might be the greatest time. If the car isn't fast in the dry, the car is not going to be good. So,
well, I'm saying clearly the car is fast in at least practice fast enough, and clearly it was fast in qualifying in the
yeah,
dry
but I
with
mean,
tires. So I was
there's
just combining, if you've got great single lap speed for qualifying and you've
mhm,
got a head start on your competitors with tire management, meaning it lasts for a
mhm,
longer time. Yes, race speed is a bit different than qualifying speed, how you deal
yeah.
with air a bit, but in F1, you combine those two, I feel like you get most of the way there.
Yeah. I also think that I'm pretty sure quali was a little bit damp too. I might be wrong. I don't
I mean, they
I'm
were
pretty sure
running
quali was a
slicks no
little damp.
problem.
Yes, but I mean, well, you can run slicks in a little bit of damp. So who, well, I have a feeling Red Bull is still going to be good, but I don't want to. I'm scared to put Max until I know that Red Bull is going to be good because we already know McLaren is going to be really good. On to the Cup Series, the Straight Talk Wireless 400, also in Miami, March 23rd at 12 p.m. So you have two races on
Homestead.
Sunday. You also have three races, but my prediction, Kyle Larson, it's about damn time.
Yeah, I've got Reddick. Homestead is one of those tracks where you get some surprising winners, but really you just get guys that can rip the wall.
Hmm.
Um, and the guys that are best at that tend to be the guys that perform best here. Even though you don't necessarily run the whole race right up against the wall, but the guys who can do that with the kind of least margin for error tend to be the guys that perform best here. And Larson and Reddick are two of those guys that are ridiculously good at that. Um, I mean, both of them are in cars that are good. This week, both Bubba and Reddick were running really well until they got caught up in an accident or something else. Um, and Reddick is, you know, I got him if for no other reason than you got Larson.
Yep. And the third race on Sunday is the IndyCar NTT for the Thermal Club IndyCar in California on March 23rd at 3 p.m. Eastern Time. My prediction is the 2024 winner, Alex Palou.
Yeah, it was an exhibition race last time, right? So it was like just 20 laps or something.
I believe so.
Um, I got Colton Herta for this one. California guy. He's, historically raced pretty well out in California. This is obviously a newer track. If I remember right, last year running this race, he intentionally sandbagged the first 10 laps and then charged up to fourth in the second 10 laps. Um, which is fun. So I got him. I think that I'm fairly confident that it's gonna be like a Palou, or at least probably like a Ganassi or a Penske, but
Hmm.
just with how well they're running, or I guess I
Totally
can't
fair.
count out like Pato Award, but
Yeah.
I am I am thinking right when I think Penske, right?
Which actually
I'm
funny
just
enough,
going based off who ran particularly well there last year. There were a couple
yeah.
Ganassi drivers and a couple Penske drivers, but
Uh,
I feel like it would be fun to see her to win.
Speaking of pedal award on my channel on Alex Motorsports or Motorsports Alex, I forget which one it is. I do have a pedal award video coming out somewhat in the next like week. I have to edit it, but I have recorded. It's gonna be like 5 minutes. It's gonna be if he's cursed at the Indy 500. So, he, we were gonna do looking back at our predictions, um, which actually we could do really quick. So, Jack, 5 races into the NASCAR season, regular season, Jack had Byron. He's first right now in points with 207 points. I had Larson. He is sixth in points with 152. He is 55 points off of Byron. Biggest surprise, Jack had Chase Briscoe and Carson Hocevar. They are 20th and 22nd in the standings with 94 and 92 points. Each of them have a top five. Briscoe has led 9 laps. Hocevar has led 1 lap, and Briscoe has 1 DNF to Hocevar's 2 DNFs. I had Ty Gibbs, who is 34th in the standings with 56 points, 0 top 5s, 0 laps led, 2 DNFs. Biggest
Yeah, I was going to
letdown,
say Briscoe's been disappointing,
yeah,
but Ty Gibbs has been double
even
disappointing.
worse. Like it's bad,
But
dude.
neither
I
of
hate
us,
it.
we both struck out bad there.
Well, actually struck gold here. Jack's biggest letdown was SVG with 31st in the standings with 72 points, 1 top 10, 2 DNFs, and 25 laps led. My biggest letdown was Bubba because I thought he would disappoint me. And the curse strikes again, except this time it's positive, as Bubba is 11th in the standings with 125 points, 1 top 10, 2 DNFs, and 42 laps led, with a very good chance at winning. I believe it was Phoenix as well, or no, 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 it was Daytona. He had a very good chance at winning Daytona. Didn't. You know why? Because
I mean,
Hocevar sucked. Um,
he was running really well this week as well before getting caught up in that mess kind of near
yeah,
the front of the field.
yeah.
Like he
And
led what
then
20 laps or something.
something like that. Yeah, he was doing really well. So. For F1, obviously we're 1 race in, and we will update this every week. But Max Verstappen had Jack's driver champion pick. He is second with 18 points in the podium. Mine was Lewis, who was with 1 point. Oh well. The constructors, we both had Ferrari. They're seventh in the standings with 5 points, the lowest constructors with any points. Um,
We both drunk the Ferrari Lewis
yep,
Kool-Aid here.
yep, we did, and we have applied to the blade. Guys, Jackson's Williams. Great pick. They're currently fourth with 10 points and could have been higher if this didn't crash into a wall. They do have 1 DNF. And I picked
Ooh,
Haas, who didn't get any points and looks
ooh,
like a tractor on the thing.
oh, oh. Haas was ugly this week. I'm so sorry.
Gross. Um, Jack's biggest letdown was Liam Lawson, who is tied for last in the standings. Points, 0 podium, 0 wins, 1 DNF.
And
And mine was
I will
Lando
say
Norris
Lawson
because,
had an embarrassing weekend. I will take a
yes,
victory lap on this weekend alone.
yeah. I just want to preface this. My Lando Norris pick for biggest letdown wasn't because I thought he wouldn't be good. It's because I thought he was going to do worse in the championship than last year. I thought he was going to have a down year, and he is not. He first with 25 points and put him in a win. I'm going
It's
to drink my
it's
own
been
tears
one
later.
race. It's been
Yeah,
one
but
race.
it's
However, 20th
Lando
versus
looked really
first is
good.
so funny here.
Lando looks really good. Fuck my life. Best rookie, Jack, also killing it. Kimi Antonelli, he was fourth with 12 points. Mine was Hajar, who was 20th and one did not start. If Hajar did not do if Hajar did not do bad on the formation lap and actually could race in the rain, things might have looked different, but it does not. And our
I
worst rookie, Jack,
I
had
mean,
Jack
I
Doohan, who was
if I
yeah,
could
okay.
jump in, if he
Yeah.
could race in the rain, he might have done better. Probably doesn't apply very well for a wet
Shut the
race,
fuck up. Shut the
but
fuck up.
I will say that he qualified like P11, right? He
Yeah,
almost made it
he
into
was the highest.
Q3.
He was the highest rookie. Yeah,
Um, which obviously you have, Behrman and a Haas. There's no defending
Bortoleto
Lawson.
and
Kimmy's car was
yeah,
broken.
Kim Carr's
Bortoleto and a
broken.
Sauber.
Bortoleto,
And Duan was in.
Doohan
Actually,
and
Duan
Alpine.
qualified just kind of surprisingly well,
I
but
didn't
he's in
do
an
too
Alpine.
bad. Yeah, I
No.
think it was just the wet.
Um,
The wet just fucked everything up.
but Hajar, like, he had a good start, and he would have. I mean, obviously, if he could race in the wet, he would have raced better in the wet. It is a thing, but like he would have, based on what else happened in the race, been on track for points this week.
Yeah.
Although Yuki finished outside the points, so I mean, that
Yeah,
team
but Yuki,
strategy is
Yuki,
insane.
no, 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 no. Yuki's strategy was complete ass. Anyway,
Yeah, but he
worst
would have been
rookie.
exposed
Yeah,
to the same strategy. That's what I mean. Like that team
that is
just loves
true.
to shoot itself in the foot.
That is true. Anything for Papa, Papa Red Bull Racing, anything for them. Anyway, first rookie was Jack's pick was Jack Doohan, who was 20th with 1 DNF. And my worst rookie is Kimi Antonelli with four, who's fourth with 12 points. Can I just
I'm
redo my
actually
picks? Can I redo my
I
picks, please? I want to change them.
I'm gonna say I don't think that Doohan was not nearly as bad as I expected him to be.
No,
Um,
it's not.
not even close. I mean, Lawson right now feels like the only rookie that was truly like holy disappointment. But we're
Yeah.
one weekend. It'll get better, and
Kimmy
it'll get worse
a
for others.
chance to fuck up. So I'll be waiting.
Hey, he's
I'll
still
be
already
waiting,
the like
Kimmy.
second youngest driver to score in the points, right?
Mm. Did he beat Max? I know Lance is, I
No,
believe, the
second
youngest.
youngest to Max. I thought points on debut, to be clear.
Oh, okay. Then yes, I believe second to Max. No, I don't
Yeah.
think Max scored a podium. He might be first.
No, points, not podium.
Oh, any points? Then yes. Yeah,
Kimmy,
yeah,
because
yeah,
Kimmy was P4. Kimmy was not P3.
yeah, yeah. Yeah. No, I mean, okay. I thought you meant like who placed higher on their debut. Then yes. If it's just
Oh
points,
no no
then
no no no!
yes.
Age.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Okay, yeah,
Second
yeah, yeah. Then yeah,
youngest. Yeah yeah.
Kimmy should be the second youngest. If it's podium, I forget if it's podium or if it's podium, I believe Lance is first. Or maybe it's
Well,
Paul.
this is on debut.
No,
Um,
I know, but youngest to get a podium, I believe, is Lance. Or it's either youngest for podium or youngest for pole. It's Lance Stroll, which is really like, huh? Makes you think, huh? But like, yeah, for people who don't know,
he's not
Lance
a bad
Stroll's
driver.
actually good. Like, let's be very clear, driver. Right? Just because he's a nepo baby, because his dad owns the team and has bought the team when he was like, he was good. Like when he was in, not Force India because he wasn't there, but when he was in Racing Point, he was actually pretty good when he had a good car. So,
I mean,
and he
and
was
he was
also,
what? He was a pay driver at Williams before that, right?
yes, but
Before
he
his dad
also like,
invested in.
yeah, but he also like kind of got in on a little bit of merit because he actually did well in the junior series. So like
No, he is a good
it
driver.
wasn't it's not like Lando Norris paid driver where Lando got better when he after a couple of years won. It was he actually got it. That just made so many people mad. It was a joke. Lando Norris is a pay driver, but he is very good and got in on merit.
But we definitely don't have a Nikita Mazepin situation
Oh God, no, no, or Latifi situation, none of them.
or a Latifi situation. Not
Or
at all.
Latifi, although Latifi is the GOAT. Anyway, that is Apex to Oval. Thank you guys for watching. We will keep updating our picks, the IndyCar picks, but we will update the F1 and the NASCAR picks. Week, obviously, we'll have new news next week. Thank you guys for watching. Have an amazing weekend, week, day, whatever you're watching this.